this is really loud. Can you turn it down? Sorry for the late start, we've got some technical issues, so we'll go back to basics with pen and paper, I'm afraid, which is fine. So, just so I know, who's not been here before? Who's like the first? Sorry to single you out. Okay, who's come here many times and regular? Yeah. Okay, good. That's good. So welcome for those who are new, and this is also my first time doing a talk here actually, so it's nice for me. So just so I understand and raise your hands as well, who's heard of the three modes of material nature? Who has heard? Who has heard? Yeah? Yeah? Who hasn't got a clue what that means? Like, absolutely no idea. Yeah? No idea at all. Okay, that's good. That's cool. So I guess that's why I'm doing a talk on this. So, okay, I don't have my laptop anymore, so... Sorry. Okay, so what we're going to cover is what the three modes are, yeah? What activities are categorized in the three modes. Okay, this will become a lot more clearer as we go on. And then, well, as you may have seen, may or may not have seen the poster. Yeah, the poster was kind of a figure, character, and the title is Person or Puppet. Yeah, has everyone seen that? Everyone's seen that. It's a nice poster, whoever made that actually. So yeah, person or puppet. So it's a kind of concept that that we are somewhat kind of controlled, or has anyone seen the Matrix? Matrix film? Yeah? Yeah? No? Really? Oh my god. Oh god. Are we old? Whoever must be older. Okay. Anyway, watch the Matrix film, The Matrix. So it's really good. The Matrix film. Brilliant film. Anyway, so forget that point because you don't know what I'm talking about. So basically the idea is that the material world is created in such a way that we are under some sort of influence, yeah? Under some sort of influence. So, oh, thank you. She needs that, right?
No.
Oh, okay. You've taken a picture now?
Well done.
Oh, okay, great. So yeah, so that the material world is kind of created in such a way that we are influenced, and that's what the Matrix film is about as well. That we are kind of in a particular world where that we actually don't belong. We don't actually belong in this world. So, yeah. So then what I'm going to kind of talk about is how we can actually break free from this kind of influence that that we sometimes may be under. So let me just talk a little bit about, if anyone can see that. Can I have some volunteer? Yes. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to present to you here is from the Bhagavad Gita. Has anyone heard of the Bhagavad Gita? Anyone not heard of the Bhagavad Gita? Everyone's heard of the Bhagavad Gita, yeah? Okay, that's good. So we have also a copy of the Bhagavad Gita at the back. Now, the teachings that I'm going to talk about here is from the Bhagavad Gita, that book. Now, a particular aspect of the Bhagavad Gita covers the material world. Yeah. Now, when I say material world, I mean the world that we live in. Yeah, the world that we perceive, the world that we can touch, the world that we, material in the material sense. Now, why is it called material? Yeah. So we're specifying material, suggesting that there's something else. Yeah. So in the Krishna Consciousness Society and in the Bhagavad Gita, it explains that there's also a different energy, which is spiritual energy. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I think it's the darkest one out of all of them. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about what spiritual nature is, what material nature is, and who we are. Yeah? Explains in the Bhagavad Gita that you can't read that, but it's for me. There's two types of energies, yeah? There's spiritual and there's material. On a basic level, that is basically it. So, as a show of hands, who kind of feels that there's something more to life, or something more to who we are physically that you see and that you experience? Does anyone get a sense that there is anything more, anything beyond? You do? Yeah? Do you care to share? No? Does anyone care to share? No? Yes?
It's like when you, see a dead body and a live body,
Yeah.
kind of chemical stuff all there, but there's a clear difference, so that it kind of gives an indication that there is something more than just...
Yeah, exactly. So, for anyone who didn't hear, he's saying that there's a difference between a dead body and a living body, right? That the physical body is there, but there's something that's different. There's something, obviously, that's different, and that's consciousness. Yeah, that we are conscious when we're living, but when someone passes away, the consciousness has left the body. Okay? And it explains in the Bhagavad Gita, and it explains in all kind of, actually, spiritual texts, religious texts, that the consciousness comes from the soul. Yeah, that we're the soul and we're not the body. So anyway, the Bhagavad Gita explains that essentially we're the soul. Yeah, we're something deeper than this, we're the soul. And we have an outer layer covering, which is a material body that we can see and that we can touch. But what's driving the body is the soul. Okay? So, also what's explained is then this material world. Okay? Which then brings us to the three modes of material nature. So, it explains in there that the world is made up of three different qualities. Yeah, three different qualities, which is goodness, passion, and ignorance. Yeah, so it's almost like a quality, a nature, a kind of level of consciousness. Yeah, so it's quite easy to understand goodness, passion, and ignorance. It's quite simple, isn't it? That someone who's kind of has a quality of good is different to somebody who's kind of in the more sort of dark kind of mode and quality. And then there's something in the middle which is mode of passion. So we'll go into this. So this is basically what the three modes of material nature are, is that the material world is made up of these three different elements. Yeah, and it's similar to the three modes are likened to the three primary colours. Yeah? So all of the colours that we see, that we can perceive, are made up of a mixture and a combination of just three colours. Yeah? So that's like the material world. It's everything that we have a connection to is a combination of different degrees of the three modes. Yeah, even our own consciousness. Do you ever feel sometimes that you can go, our mood can go low, that we have like a dip in our mood and we kind of feel depressed, and we feel low and we feel sad, yeah? And then sometimes we have like a kind of mode where we're energized, we're determined, like especially with exams, like maybe you get into kind of a zone where you're like, I've got to do this, got to pass this exam, yeah? That's kind of like a mode of passion kind of mode. And then you have a kind of goodness, which is more peaceful, more tranquil, and you kind of relax and, yeah? So, in this way, our consciousness varies, isn't it? Do you ever feel that? You notice that in your life, your consciousness varies. So, this is because our mind, our body, are made up with these three qualities. So that's why we sometimes feel different. Yeah, we kind of experience things differently, and we experience different people who are, different sometimes, I mean, I work with clients and who are severely depressed, and being sometimes with people who are in that low mode, it can, I feel the effect of their kind of low mood and depression, and it's a different energy, because all of this basically is energy. Yeah, but then sometimes you're with people who are just so, light-hearted and bubbly, and it's just nice to be around them. So they have a different energy. Yeah. So basically, what these three things are is energies. Yeah, qualities like that. So. Yeah. Okay. So. Can you? Yeah, don't need to write it all out again, just do. Okay, so goodness, so just going quickly into the qualities of goodness, is that the different, how can you tell? Okay, this is the question. How can you tell which mode you're more in? Yeah? Now you can tell the nature of something by, you can tell. There's some example in chemistry, like a metal trying to sort of sort out what metal a particular metal is, and you find that out by the quality or the nature and the different reactions it has to different chemicals. So in the same way, how can we tell what kind of mode we're in? Yeah, majority of the time. This is always going to fluctuate. So mode of goodness has the nature of, what's that say? Purity. So the first thing is pure, yeah, purity. A sense of happiness, yeah. Knowledge as well. Someone more in the mode of goodness has clear knowledge. Sometimes we meet people in the temple and as well, they have a sense of clarity about them. They're not sort of confused or dazed. They just know. They know who they are, they know what they're doing, they have a clear sense of knowledge. Okay, then passion. So passion, you can tell if you're in the mode of passion when you have many desires. Yeah? And longings and hankerings, yeah, and also if you're very attached, yeah, if you kind of find yourself becoming very attached. The mode of ignorance is, qualities of ignorance is delusion, madness, sleep, a lot of sleep. If you sleep a lot, like more than 6 hours actually, but more than, actually, Shubhara says 6, but yeah, more than 7, 8, like that, then it's mode of ignorance. Then you're kind of, I saw some more worried look over there. Yeah. But actually, mode of goodness as well, if you're regulated, if you have a schedule, if you're very regulated, you know what time you need to eat, and what time you need to sleep, and how many hours of sleep you have, that's mode of goodness. If you're kind of scattered, you don't, you're not really in one place, then it's kind of mode of passion. And if you're sleeping just all the time, then it's mode of ignorance. It's kind of inertia, just kind of complete mindlessness. So the other point is that the three modes of material nature actually compete for supremacy. Yeah, they're actually because these are energies, and also energies governed by the Supreme Lord. They're competing for supremacy. Thank you. Okay, so the result. I'll skip this one. Okay, so what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to do some skits. Is that alright? Okay. So if this was on a projector it would be a lot better, but we've got it there. Maybe, that's fine. No. Turn it this way, just play chords or something. Yeah. Okay. So, one section of the Bhagavad Gita, which is really interesting, it categorises different activities under the different modes. Yeah? Chapter 17. Really interesting. Now, if you want to read this in detail, then read chapter 17. Chapter 14 for the descriptions of the different modes. Chapter 17 for the different activities under the different modes. So, it explains that food, okay, this is not on there, but food under the mode of, can be categorised under the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. Okay? So, food in the mode of goodness increases the duration of life. It gives strength, health, happiness and satisfaction. Foods which are juicy, fatty, wholesome, pleasing to the heart are all in the mode of goodness. Okay? Food in the mode of passion, foods that are too hot, too bitter, too pungent, too dry, causing misery, distress or disease, are in the category of passion. Yeah. So, yes, if you like really spicy food, then then that's kind of so. Food in the mode of ignorance are foods that are prepared more than 3 hours before eating. Yeah. Tasteless, decomposed, and remnants are foods in the mode of ignorance. So, decomposed, I suppose that would be sort of meat, gone off food. Yeah. Okay, so charity, then there's a category of charity and penance. Penance meaning like austerity or sacrifice. Okay, so charity in the mode of goodness, now this is written up. This is important because this is what your skits are going to be based on, right? So, charity in the mode of goodness is given out of duty, without expectation of return, given at a proper time, place, and to a worthy person. Okay? Charity in the mode of passion is given with expectation of return, a desire for a result, and given in a grudging mood. Yeah? Charity in the mode of ignorance is given at an impure place, improper time, unworthy persons, or without proper attention and respect. Okay? Okay, and then, so how many people? It's more girls than boys. Yeah? 3 girls? 4? Yeah, that one. Okay. Do you mind splitting everyone up then? Two boys groups and 4 girl groups? Yeah. Just group them up.
Okay, so welcome to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We have 2 special guests. Chris Brown, come on here, Chris Brown. And Rihanna. Please give a warm round of applause. So, they're on the final question, £1 million. I'll pass it over.
So, let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So, final question for £1 million. You guys ready? Okay, so, where is javelin held? Is it A, Harrow, B, East London, C, Crawley, D, all of the above?
I don't know. She doesn't normally sound as manly. It's hard to tell people.
He doesn't normally treat me like this. I wanted a gig in Edinburgh.
Was it a good gig?
The altitude was crazy.
Was it?
Should we use up the only option?
You have 3 options. Would you like me to tell you what your options are? Option 1 is 50-50, option 2 is phone a friend, and option 3 is ask the audience.
We'll phone a friend.
So, who would you like to phone?
I don't have a friend. I'll call that black man number 1.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, man? Nigel, yeah. Safe, yeah. Bank, yeah? Cool.
Okay, I think the time's up there. That's your time. Did that help?
No. Okay.
It did actually.
What other options do we have?
Would you like to tell me?
Yeah.
You have ask the audience and 50-50.
We're pretty good at
Do you get it?
So, audience, is it Harrow? Is it Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Is it Crawley? Is this a place? Or is it all of the above? So, I think that's the audience done with. Work.
I'd just like to remind you, we're doing this for charity. What's the charity?
It's called Rakesh by like Saraswati Channel like. Some deep, like some brown name. I think we should take 50-50 because
These guys are mad.
Are you sure about that? Are you 100% sure?
yeah.
Totally sure. So, I'll remove all of the above and Crawl
So, Edinburgh.
and Harrow.
This for £1 million for the new couch. I mean, oh, the I went Edinburgh. No German.
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna beat you if you get it wrong.
Vice versa. Yeah, sir. We'll do Harrow. Yeah.
Harrow. Are you 100% sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you want to sing a song about that?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think you may have just won £1 million. you'd like to come up with?
The check, yeah. So,
Poor people. I'll have some money.
For those of you who may not caught the vital ending, so the two sort of homeless people use the money to buy drugs. Yeah? Yeah, drugs. It's good that they're doing really, didn't show that well. You go buy drugs. Well done. That's good, because charity in the mode of ignorance, to improper person, improper time, some money given to an improper person, you go and use the money for drugs. So, okay. Well done, thank you. So have another girls group, charity in the mode of passion.
Hi, this is a bag for you. It's got food in it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, can we take a photo?
Yeah, you can take it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my god, that's so cool. Look on Facebook. Someone's like got a photo of a homeless person. We should go and do that. Oh my god, let's get a photo with a homeless person. Yeah. Like a bag of stuff. Alright, just give them. Let's get for a homeless person. Can we get
No, thank I don't want a picture. And why? I'm homeless. I'm not really.
But our friends got photos.
But I thought you were doing charity out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah, we are. But like,
Leave this person alone.
yeah, fine. Whatever. That was it. Hi, this is a bag for you. It's got food in it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, can we take a photo?
Yeah, you can take it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my god, that's so cool. Look on Facebook. Someone's like got a photo of a homeless person. We should go and do that. Oh my god, let's get a photo with a homeless person. Yeah. Like a bag of stuff. Alright, just give them. Let's get for a homeless person. Can we get
No, thank I don't want a picture. And why? I'm homeless. I'm not really.
But our friends got photos.
But I thought you were doing charity out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah, we are. But like,
Leave this person alone.
yeah, fine. Whatever.
That was really, really good. I like that. Really got the essence of, expectation of return, wasn't it? Yeah, that's really good. Thank you, Vargan. Okay, boys, charity men of passion as well, right?
No, ignorance.
Charity men of ignorance.
once was a boy named Kishan. Oh, I just woke up. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit depressed. What time is it? What time is it? I don't even have a watch. Why am I looking at my own? It's 2 p.m. Oh, maybe I should do something with my life rather than just stand here. Everyone's looking at me. Look at me with my chest all popped out. Yeah, well, oh, should I just have a cigarette, you know? Oh, wait. Something's happening. Oh, what's this? A homeless person. Oh, wow. Maybe I should give him my coat. No, wait, that's murder goodness. Maybe I should take a picture with him. No, that's murder passion. I know what I'll do. Let me just give him some money for no reason whatsoever, not knowing who he is, what he's gonna do with it, where it's gonna go. Yeah, look at me. I feel so good about myself. I'm gonna walk off towards the girls that side. And now, twilight has begun. We can see an eclipse. It's breaking dawn part 1, breaking dawn part 2, breaking dawn part 3. And now it's just dark. No one can see anything. And look at these henchmen coming from the back. Oh yeah. You know what it is. Yeah. You know what it is. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Yeah. Boys. So basically, he used the money and he gave it to the henchmen and he told them to get socks of Febuary. Oh wait, no, what do? We don't know. What are we taking? His head, his socks, his jumper, his hoodie? Let's just take it completely. Just pick him up now. Febuary, no, Okay, here's your boy boss. What do you want me to do with him? Socks. Okay, and now the henchmen walk off, and Febuary now slides his way off as well, slowly. Now we see the person left all alone, without his money, and now he takes off his cap, his glasses, his jacket. See, maybe I shouldn't have just used that money for the wrong reasons. It's such a shame though, that Kishan got back up. He came back, and he asked, "What did you do with the money?" To which he replied, "You don't want to know." And then Kishan replied, "But I gave you that money with all my heart, and trust, and faith, and conviction." To which he replied, "You're an idiot, you don't even know me." So now Kishan walks off towards the doors, trying to make a dramatic exit, and that is the end.
I take him on the lights and everything, brilliant. That's so awesome. So yeah, so that was really emphasising the fact. Sorry, round of applause. It was funny, it was good. And so yeah, really emphasising the mode of ignorance. So just giving that an improper time to, without any knowledge, just complete, mindlessness. Well done. So now finally we've got the charity in the mode of goodness. Yeah? We're going to end with goodness. Round of applause.
Who do you think you are inviting peasants into your home? You're a king. He's got so much wealth. Why doesn't he split it with everyone?
He doesn't need to. He was born into it. Why does he need to give it to these peasants?
Well, this is good karma and it benefits the peasant.
It's their bad karma. They're in the streets, obviously.
It's good karma.
power. Okay, now. God, Angel, could you please leave?
Fine. You're making the wrong decision. Okay?
Good Angel, would you please help me serve my subjects food? And that's it.
That was good. So the king was giving out of duty, yeah? So the charity mode of goodness is like giving out of duty even despite the bad advice that the king was getting. Good, thank you. Great. Okay, so well done everyone, that was brilliant. I had a good laugh, it was good. So, just for my benefit only. Oh yeah. Okay. So, okay, so just as, basically to summarise, and Sham's done this nice mind map thing, so you probably can't read it because it's different colours, but so we talked about the fact that there's, in the Bhagavad Gita it explains that there's two different types of energies, and that there's a spiritual energy, and then there's also material. So under the material energy is categorised into three, yeah? Goodness, passion, ignorance. And these three combined make all the elements of the world that we live in. So again, by looking at the different activities we have, they all fall into these different modes and also combination. So we can look at our own lives and see how we are acting, and the different activities also that we may be attracted to can give an indication of what kind of consciousness level we're at as well. So if we want to improve our life and improve our health, and even go towards spiritual activities, is that the ideal way is to practice mode of goodness. With mode of goodness you have knowledge and you have a clear mind, and with that you're able to then even go beyond the material energy and understand anything spiritual. We must be at the mode of goodness to be able to understand anything beyond the material world, to understand anything spiritual and who we are, the soul. So that goes on to my next point, which is how to break free. So again, going back to the flyer, the poster with the puppet. So are we a person or are we a puppet? So we are a spirit soul, but we are conditioned with these three modes of material nature. So in essence we're both. But how to break free from being influenced by these three modes that are always competing and controlling, our mood and our mind, is to practice mode of goodness. That is how to invoke any mode, or how to increase a particular mode, is by practicing it. Yeah. So the more you practice a particular mode, so the more we eat food in the mode of passion or ignorance, or the more the people we hang around with as well, we hang around with people who are in the mode of ignorance and mode of passion, then we become like that, because, by association, by hanging around with particular types of people, that affects our consciousness and our thoughts then affect our feelings, and our feelings then our desires. Our desires affect how we act, and our actions then become who we are. So, we have to be very careful with what kind of things we associate with, right? So, practice mode of goodness, that's the best real way of being happy, being peaceful, and even to understand anything higher, like, who we are really. If there's a God out there, then by practicing mode of goodness, we're able to have a clear mind and increase our intelligence. Yeah? And how we do that is, again, by the people we hang around with. So you come here and it's good because we have like-minded people. We're all kind of, interested in deeper topics, and even though we have jokes and have a laugh, it's still, we're associating with like-minded people here. And then food as well, considering what type of food we're eating. Is it food in the mode of ignorance? Is it food in the mode of passion? Food in the mode of goodness is food that is like really cooked at home, home cooked food with healthy, usually vegetarian diet, if that's the best. And practice good thoughts as well. Having good thoughts means that you don't beat yourself up, mentally, that you don't pick at yourself and kind of be critical to yourself and others. That you accept yourself for who you are, and you accept other people for who they are. That's mode of goodness. Yeah. Then second thing, how to break free is develop your knowledge on the modes. So, and I suggest reading chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita or chapter 17. So you just increase your knowledge. That's also mode of goodness. Yeah. And third thing then is practice spiritual activities. So we're going to be doing some kirtan in a minute, and someone's going to explain exactly what kirtan is. But practicing spiritual activities, in this example here, like I said, just by practicing things in certain modes, you invoke that mode. Also, practicing spiritual activities, we can also enhance our spiritual side as well. Yeah. So that's my last 3 points. So I think we probably don't have time for questions. If anyone has any questions, then we can. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so if you have any questions, then there are also Sahil and Shiv and Shan and myself and Gina and Krishna. So if there's any questions, you guys can ask myself or anyone here on the topic or anything else. But yeah, I'll hand it back to Shan.
So we'd like to thank Chaitanya for a really inspiring talk about the 3 modes. She talked about practicing the mode of goodness, and as she said, right now we're going to do an activity called kirtan, which is practicing the mode of goodness. So she would like to explain what kirtan is and how.
Hello everyone. So it's quicker. Can we bring everyone forward, just so that Chaitanya and Lila can just start kirtan. But before I start my little explanation, can we have 3 loud Haribols in appreciation of Chaitanya Leelamachi's efforts and wisdom? So, Haribo! 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 So, kirtan, or mantra meditation. Actually, kirtan or mantra meditation is the utmost expression of something called bhakti yoga. And everyone here has done meditation and yoga before. But does anyone really know the meaning of yoga? Anyone? It comes from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to connect. So actually, when you see people, flaunting their flexibility in gym studios, that's not real yoga. What real yoga is the ability to connect. And connecting to what? Bhakti, love and devotion. And love and devotion doesn't exist without a connection to a high purpose, without Krishna. And I'm not going to go on about this because it's really about the experience. And philosophy, Krishna conscious philosophy is absolute, and it gives us happiness in theory. Kirtan gives us happiness in reality. And so if there's anything that you can kind of tap into, is tap into that. If we're all pleasure-seeking people, which we are, then let's do it with love and devotion to something that is true and absolute, and that's kirtan. So please participate, focus, and I guarantee you, you'll be truly happy.